Good morning. I'm Candace Gourdain, and this is Fitness and Harmonies, Pilates and yoga together. So if you're like me, you're leaning a little bit more towards the yoga. It always feels so good. We need that Pilates, and again and again and again, people find out that it's the strong core that enables them to move and be able to do the things they do. So it's the springtime here, and we're going outside and doing all of our outside work. So I thought maybe Pilates and yoga to detox for weight loss. That always gets my attention. Detox for weight loss. So let's start out with a nice big inhale and exhale. We've been working on the shoulders and how the shoulders are holding stress. So begin to notice how your arms are interacting with the bones of the shoulders. Begin to expand the ribs and make the tone of the breath even and smooth. 2 more times like this. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to do a little bit of flow today. This time come up. Exhale over to one side. Leave the arms close. Inhale up. Exhale. So I'm going to keep you moving. In order to lose weight, we really need to burn calories. This magical word, calories. And what it really comes down to is the breath. You knew I was going to say that. You might have thought core, but breath. There's a joke among all of my yoga classes that if breath is the answer to everything. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Come up. Turn to one side. Let the arms down. Hold this pose. Now, inhale and draw the elevator up the spine. Exhale and float the energy down the spine. Inhale, draw the elevator up the spine. Exhale, expand outward, scoop in the belly. So I'm going to combine today yoga and Pilates for weight loss so that we can burn more calories by fully oxygenating the blood. And here's the best thing. We're washing out and cleaning out the internal organs. We're getting all of that, food and debris that we've been holding on to. Maybe fat, I don't know. Exhale back to center. Let's do all of that again. Inhale up, just exhale the arms down. I want you to get into the rhythm of the breath. So I'm going to keep you moving today. We're not going to do a lot of stretches. I'm just going to go through more of a vinyasa yoga class. So we're going to stay moving. If you need to stop and take a stretch, do that. One more time like this. Look at how the arms, the ribs and the shoulders. This time, inhale up. And then exhale, lean over. Keeping the arms closed. Inhale up. Exhale, scoop the belly in, stretch from hips to hands. So there's the apparatus of breath. And the purpose of the breath, well, I don't know, is to get oxygen to the body. And the cells of the body, all the cells of the bodies respirate. 2 more times. You may think, well, okay, big deal. Who cares about respiration? But it's through respiration, what they call cellular respiration. Twist to the other side, return, let the arms down. It's through cellular respiration that we burn calories. Now I've got your attention. Burning calories means that we take in food and oxygen and water, and we do this like kind of magical transformation. It becomes this thing called energy. And part of that energy is heat. And we measure that heat, we call that a calorie. And so if we burn calorie, we're making this heat, we're burning excess fat, the stuff that our body wants to hold on to. So the key to that, of course, is eating. You have to eat and exercise or movement so that we're forcing the body to respirate and so that the cells get all of the energy that they need so they can grow and repair. One more breath in, remember, elevator up. And down. So let's come into hands and knees pose. And what we'll do is I'm going to put together a little exercise flow. Leave out what you don't want to do. We're going to start out with one leg extending back and the opposite arm forward. And then come down. From there, turn the toes under, lift up and back into downward dog. Stretch the hips up and back. So you're pulling in opposing directions and then come down. Now maintain a contraction, a scooping action in the abdominals. Now the opposite leg and arm. Give that a breath or two. Keep this arm bone that's holding you up spun open. and come down. Turn the both toes under, lift up and stretch back to downward dog. So fully reach in opposing directions and then come down. So let's go back to that first, arm and leg, extend out and hold, and then come down. Push back into downward dog. Speaking of downward dogs, give me a second. And then come down again. Now go to that other arm and leg, extend out. And bring that arm and leg down. So lift up now to downward dog. Hold the downward dog. And then come back down. Good. From your hands and knees pose, I know you knew what to do. Come into like a plank pose. Walk your hands forward. Spread the collarbones and the chest out. Now vigorously pull in through the abdominals. Bend the elbows, lower all the way down, but slowly push the chest forward, pull the shoulders back, and really bow the chest forward. Push up into plank pose, turn the toes under, lift up and press back into downward dog pose. Stretch. Inhale, come down to hands and knees. Let's start over. So one arm, one leg extends. Lengthen. Bring the arm and leg down. Inhale. Flow back to downward dog. Lift up, press back. You can leave these downward dogs out, right? You can just stay in hands and knees. And then come down. Brace the abdominals. Now the opposite arm and leg extend and hold. Level. Abhyasa in yoga, it's persistent practice. Bring the arm and leg down. So we're just going to keep going. Downward dog, press back. I'm going to talk today to you as we're doing our movement practice on how to lose weight. Where do the calories go? Come down to hands and knees. Hinge forward into a plank pose. Roll the shoulders open and scoop the belly vigorously. Bend both elbows. Kind of keep the elbows close into the side. Don't let them flare up. Come all the way down. Then drag the arm bones and the elbows down and back and bow the chest forward. Come down. Push up into hands and knees. I'm going to do that whole, let's call that a vinyasa or a flow again. One arm, one leg. Extend. Brace the abdominals, abs of steel. Inhale. Bring the arm and leg down. Spread the fingers out. Turn the toes. Flow into downward dog. So we're going to slim and trim as we're lengthening and strengthening. Lengthen the back of the legs. They're probably warming up now and come back down. So as you're coming back down, the core is pulling in. Other arm and leg. Extend out. Balance and lengthen. Slim and trim. And bring the arm and leg down. Push back into downward dog. Lift up, float back. Remember, your body weight keeps moving backward, back into the back of the legs. Another breath in. Come down to hands and knees. Press forward to a plank pose. Roll the shoulders open. Micro bend the elbows. Even before we do bend the elbows, always kind of micro bend them. Now do bend the elbows. Hover here. Good. So lower all the way down. And then do that rise up into our mini cobra stretch. And then push back into child's pose. So after a breath or two, I'm going to do that whole sequence one more time. Maybe take this time to do about 10 to 12 just relaxing breaths. You're going to hear me saying downward dog and stuff, but stay here if that's what your body needs today. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come up to hands and knees. Inhale, stretch one arm and leg. Inhale, come back down. Inhale, turn the toes. Exhale, downward dog. Another breath. Downward dog takes another little breath to fully experience it. Exhale down to hands and knees. Brace the abdominals. Feel that contraction. Other arm and leg extend. And bring that down. One more time. Downward dog. Lift up. We're burning calories by going a little bit faster today. Do what you have to do. Come down to hands and knees. Move forward to plank pose. You can be on your toes. Always find where your body is today. Lower halfway down and hold. Feel the shoulders really integrate. Come all the way down. Good. So then roll the chest forward and peel the elbows down and back. And then release down. Push up to hands and knees. Push back into child's pose. All right, 3 more breaths. So hopefully you stayed in child's pose that whole time. I'm always going to come back and pick you up. You know, if I see you in child's pose, if I can see you in child's pose, I'm going to come back and pick you up. Now, occasionally I forget things just because I forget things. But know that you're always invited to go back and find what feels good. Find your breath again. Find your ability to get back on your path. So a diet is just like this exercise routine. You know where you're going. You just have to keep reminding yourself to stay here while you're doing that. That's all it is. Just persistence along the path. We're going to come back up to hands and knees. Spread the fingers out. Squeeze the abdominals. And we're going to extend one leg back. Let me get these stuff out of my way. Now I want you to picture the letter M. M is in Mary. We're going to lift the leg up, out to one side and down. Lift it up, back into center and down. Lift it up, cross it over to the other side and down. That made an M. So it's up to the center and then down. Up to the outside and then down. So it's a letter M, right? Up, make that loop, up, make that other loop. You know what I'm doing. So keep painting a letter M as in Mary. With that back leg. Okay, now you've got it. You know how to do this. Now begin cinching the waist in and using the breath. Remember I said the breath is the key to losing weight. So as you're doing this little repetition, I want to remind you that eating is really the key to losing weight. It makes a really big difference on what you ingest, on what happens in the rest of the metabolic cycle. Keep squeezing the sideways in. So eating well and eating enough of the right kind of good calories is what's going to fuel your workout so you can burn more calories, so you can turn over cells. Two more M's. M. One more. And then bring that knee in and stretch back to child's pose. I'm going to push over into that hip. Boy, I felt that in that hip. Do 3 breaths. I'm not going to stop and do a lot of stretches because I want to keep you breathing. Part of that is you're just breathing on purpose, but part of that is I'm going to keep you moving. Let's come back up. Brace the abdominals, extend the opposite leg back. Hold. Level the hips. Here we go. So bring the leg out to the side and down. Bring it up. Good. Back to the center and then down. Bring it up. And then over and across and then down. So letter M. Up and down, up, over, and down. Yep. Up, over, and down. So two humps. Squeeze. Vigorously and consciously squeeze into the abdominals. Now, squeezing the abdominals doesn't make for flat abs. I didn't want to be the one to tell you that, but it really isn't. It'll change a little bit, but it's really not what gives you flat abs. What gives you flat abs is the dinner. You know, what you're putting on your plate. That's what gives you flat abs. Really, the reason we're squeezing your abs, squeezing your abs, squeezing your abs, and working your abs is to keep your spine and your internal organs healthy, to give them space, because the problem is gravity. The gravity pulls us down. So the abs are what's giving us space to maintain healthy joints and healthy internal organs that metabolize that food. 2 more of these M's. Brace and brace. And then bring the knee in. Make your way around to a seated pose. So pause once you get there. Bring the feet to the deck, to the floor. Maybe you're working out on a boat or something. I don't know. You're on a dock and there's the ocean. It's all beautiful. Let's come to boat. I guess that was on my mind. I guess boat was on my mind. Chin slightly down, back of the neck long. Now, embrace the abdominals. Imagine that you're wrapping these big Velcro belts around your waist, and that's tightening, and it's supporting the low back. So an exercise practice supports our weight loss. It's not really the thing, however. By raising the heart rate and by raising the amount of oxygen we consume, we can temporarily raise our metabolic rate. That's called EPOC, E-P-O-C. That extended period of oxygen consumption. Yikes. Let's cross the arms. Extended period of oxygen consumption. Oh, good. Now let's do, I'm going to call these elbow or knee taps. Try lifting one leg, then the other. All right, if you feel compression in your low back, always go back to something. So you could come down to the floor, let me show you for a second, and be tapping the knee like this. You can have the arms up and do it this way, fully supporting the spine. So fully supported is a really important phrase to me, that you should always feel fully supported, but in your body, your neck and your spine, super important things. Inhale up the spine. Remember, we're elongating it. Float outward and scoop the belly on the exhale. 2 and 1. So what we're going to do, I'm going to just create some space here, is when the legs come down, we're going to round the back and roll down. Bring the arms to the floor. Lift the knees up. Push with the arms and lift the hips up off the floor. Roll back down. Bring the feet to the floor. Roll up. I'm going to hold on to the legs. No, there's nowhere in the book it says you're not allowed to hold on to the legs. Cross the arms. Do 3 taps. 3, 2, 1. Roll down. Squeeze. Remember, like a big wheel. Hands to the floor. Lift the knees. Push into the floor. Lift the hips. Slowly roll back down. Bring the feet to the floor. Maybe hold on to the thighs. Tuck your chin. Don't throw your head around. Hands or arms crossed. 3 knee taps. Tap, tap, tap. Round the spine. Roll down. Bring your arms to the floor. Push down, lift the knees up. Push down, lift the hips up. Any amount. Slowly roll down. Bring the feet to the floor. Hold on to the thighs. Tuck your chin and roll up. Let's do that again. Arms crossed. 3 knee taps. 3, 2, 1. Round the back. Roll down. Bring the hands to the floor. Push down. Lift the knees up. Lift the hips up with your arms. You're pushing with your arms. You're holding even with your arms. Slowly roll down. We're going to do this a few more times. Hold on to the thighs. Tuck the chin and roll up. Stack the arms. 3 knee taps. 3, 2. Keep the belly pulling in that firehouse. The powerhouse. Yes, it's a firehouse. It's on fire now, isn't it? Roll down. With control, hands to the floor. Push down, levitate the knees. So alternately, you could stay down. Roll the hips up off the floor. Hold. With control, slowly lower the hips down. Hold on to the thighs, tuck the chin. You can use your legs to slowly roll you up. I like that version better. It makes me feel better about myself. 3 of those knee taps, remember, so you're reclining. 3, 2, and then we roll down. This is where you round the back. What did I get myself into today? This is a little bit harder. Bring the hands to the floor. Levitate the knees. I think we'll do one more, but then we're going to stay down. So let's say you don't want to do one more. Then you would stay here. Here we go. Roll up. Tuck the chin so your neck doesn't whiplash. Cross the arms. Recline. Tap the knees. 3, 2. I see you having fun. I see actual having fun there. And then we're going to roll down and stay down this time. Stay down below, like if you have a camera, stay below the camera. That way I can't see what you're doing. Try it that way. All right, hands behind the head. Use your hands and your shoulders to crawl the sides of your waist up. So imagine that you're lengthening right and left and right and left, and then come down and hold. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, cinch the waist in. What we're going to do is crisscross in a moment. We're just getting ready. And we go back to that roll up. Here we go. One knee, levitate it up. Just twist towards the knee. So lift the head, the chest, the shoulders. Lift the back. Almost come up onto this front elbow. And then down. Do go to the other side. Lift the knee, hold. Twist the spine, lift up. Almost come all the way up off the floor. Bring elbow to knee, hold. And then roll down. All right, now let's levitate the legs and try that again. Roll to that first side. Try to come sort of all the way up. Elbow tries to touch that knee and roll with support down. Try the other side. This is hard today, guys. Roll and lift up and hold. And roll down. Now add in like the leg movements. So twist, lift up, bring that knee in with the other leg out and down. Twist, roll up, one knee in, one leg out. And roll down. Don't worry if this doesn't look great. It will. It will. It's just a matter of practice. So this would be the mode part. There's 4 parts to exercise that you have to kind of take care of when you're making a plan for exercise. One of those is mode or method. What are you doing, right? Are you swimming and that's all? Are you walking and that's all? Are you lifting weights and that's all? Are you doing Pilates and that's all? I know that's not the case. Nobody just does Pilates. Not even Pilates instructors just do Pilates. 3 more times. So mode is what are you doing? Because your body's going to adapt to the specific stress that you put it under. Last one, last one. Come down. Stretch the arms up overhead. Inhale. Here we go. Exhale, roll up. So this time, try to do this without holding on to your legs. Good luck. I want to try that one more time. I think I can do it if I'm not talking. So roll down. Engage the corset around the waist. Stretch out. Now try rolling up. Vertebrae by vertebrae. And all the way up. Ah, I just got to laugh a little bit at all I did there. Let's come back to hands and knees. Let's go through cat-cow. Wow, wow. I'm feeling that today, guys. I'm so grateful. I told you before we got started, some of you were here and said, boy, some days I just know I need to work out. Like things aren't going the way I want them to. For some reason, I go, I just need to work out. And that makes me feel better regardless of what's going on in my life. So 3, 2, hold one of these, cat or cow. So cow would be that that rectus abdominis stretch. You're probably feeling that after all those roll-ups and rollovers. Cat would be a low back stretch. Let's say you've been out doing your gardening and that low back is pretty achy today. You don't have to pick one, right? You do one, spend a little time there, then do the other. Come up into kneeling. I'm going to turn side so you can see me and I can see you better. Extend one leg out. Okay, you have a 2 to 3 pound dumbbell. Let's take that. We'll hold it by the ends in front of the chest. Now before you move, I want you to think triangle. Those of us that do a lot of yoga, and the hips and the leg and the other leg and the chest and everything's in one nice plane. Lean away from that leg that's outstretched and hold, and then back up. All right, so when you lean over, try to keep the sides of the waist long and try to support the side waist and the side of the spine. So I said the reason we really do abdominal exercises isn't really to lose weight. I just have to say that so you'll pay attention. The reason we do abdominal exercise is so that the function of the abdominal muscles supports a healthy spine and internal organs. So do that. Support the sides of the spine, that was the point there. Maybe stay down a little bit longer and squeeze vigorously into the sideways. So Joseph Pilates called this the powerhouse. This is the furnace, the place where all energy comes from. You can eat all day. If it doesn't get digested properly, it's no good to you. In fact, it's pretty bad for you to have stuff that's, not digesting. So it's good to get some healthy digestion going. And again, it's the powerhouse that does that. So it's not just the external, let's call them external muscles that do that, but the abdominals go in deep. You'll see why I'm giggling. Oh no, maybe he's not going to come over. It's Phineas just visiting with me. All right, 2 more. Squeeze the inner thighs, the outer thighs. We're going to work those in a second. Squeeze the belly front to back. Then we're going to put this weight down if you want to. Come down to the same side hand there. Balance knee and hand, and then lift this other leg up. Let's try circling this leg that's now hovering. And then the other way. Stop and go the other way. I said go the other way, but then I didn't do it. It was enough that I said it. Sometimes I think, hey, if I say it, that's enough. Like you're sitting on the couch and you say, hey, I got to get up and go do that thing. And then you never do it, but you said it. You should get credit for that. So let's make a little flow here. Put the foot down, squeeze your side waist, lift up, and stretch over. Come back up, put this hand back down, balance there, lift this leg. Now we're going to add this. The other arm goes overhead, and then the knee and the elbow sort of come together. Stretch the arm and the leg in opposing directions. Put the foot down. Come all the way up. Stretch up and over to that other foot. I like this stretch. I'm holding it a little bit longer than I told you I would. And then come up. We'll do that again. So we make this big cartwheel. Make the jazz hands. Levitate here. Scrunch the elbow and the knee. Lengthen and stretch them out, all the while squeezing front to back. Put the leg down, make that big cartwheel. Go slow, feel supported. So I said the first part of losing weight really is about diet. Maintaining enough calories and the good kind of calories that do your digestive system really good. The second part is having a fitness and exercise plan. So having the plan is, how long are you getting your heart rate up? What's the intensity? How often are you coming back to your exercise regimen? And then that other thing I talked about, the mode, the method, what are you doing? So you have to change all that up. Sometimes you do a lot of frequency, sometimes you do less frequent, sometimes you do high intensity, sometimes you do low intensity. Where do your calories go? Let me answer that question. While you're going slowly here, your nice flow. We're going to need a hip stretch, aren't we, after this? 70% of the food you eat, are you ready for this, goes into your basal metabolic rate. There you go. Well, now you know. What that means is the functions of the body that have to do with taking care of the body. Doesn't matter whether you ever get out of bed, get off the couch, it'll be the same. Your basal metabolic rate, that's the rate that your body burns calories just to stay a body, just to stay alive, to breathe, to repair, to grow, the things that a body does. How about 2 more times? I know you're probably stuck in the stretch at this point. 70%, that's a lot. Where does the other 30% go? To my hips. Just kidding. Stretch and hold this time. Maybe I'm not kidding. 20% goes to physical activity. You get up out of bed and you go and do things. 20%, that's not a lot. That's not a lot. So you can't exercise away a bad diet, right? It just doesn't work that way. I wish it did. I wish it did. You just do a lot of exercise and be done with it. And then we'll go all the way over to the other side. So we're gonna need to stretch those hips, so I'm gonna reserve a little time for that. Belly in, abs lifted, one leg out, now align. Put everything in the same plane. You gotta get this weight up first. Give yourself a second to get that heavy 3-pound weight. Hold it by the ends. This is where we lean over, kind of hold, scoop the belly, and come back. Lean over, scoop the belly, slowly drag back up. 70% your basal metabolic rate. That's how your body is rejuvenating itself and healing all the things and battling pollen and all those things that it has to do. Keeping your bones healthy. 20% is physical activity. So anything that you actually do. It doesn't even necessarily mean purposeful exercise. So you don't have a lot they play around with there. And then the other 10%, you're gonna like this, is the thermic effect of food. What's that mean? That means that it costs you about 10% of the calories you eat just to digest that food. It's the cost of eating. Because eating is kind of a really hard thing to do. Well, not the eating part, but the digesting part. There's the chewing and all of that. It doesn't work. That's 10%. So, eat up, right? So eat chewy, fibrous foods, maybe, that's a plan. That's not a plan. The plan is eat well. That's really how you do that. 2 more times like this. This is good information, guys. Eating well is the key to losing weight. Adding purposeful, remember EPOC? All right, come up. Let's put that weight down because I don't want to confuse you with the weight. Let's just take that stretch. We reach over towards that elongated leg and let that side waist that's been working hard stretch out. Slim and trim while we stretch and strengthen. Bathing those internal organs. This is my favorite part of Pilates, is that I can feel the internal organs kind of rejuvenating. You can't do Pilates on a full stomach. You can't do Pilates. If you're not a little bit flexible, you can do Pilates. You're just not moving as big as you can possibly. Here we go. Inhale up. We're gonna bring the hand to the floor. Pause there, realign. Lift that other leg, realign. So make sure your hip, you're not twisting all out of shape. Stretch the arm and the leg in opposing directions. Pause there. Hold there. I forgot, we have to circle this leg. Circle that leg. Ooh, this is hard. Circle the other way. Maintain space in your spine. Remember, the purpose of your abdominals and why we train them here is to protect and uplift the spine. 4 more. Good, so we'll put the leg down and come up. Stretch up and over. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, big cartwheel, hand to the floor. Levitate the leg, stretch the arm overhead. Here we go, scrunch, crunch, elbow to knee. Extend and lengthen. Pull the belly in, drop the leg down, come up and over. Big cartwheel, go back. Balance, scrunch, crunch, lengthen, reach, and cartwheel. Slow. Notice how your abs are having to catch you. So there's a lot of balance going on in the transition between these 2 ends. And it's your abs that are doing that. So I said that abs stabilize and support and create space, but what that really means is when we move, there's that moment of balance and transition. And it's not always in just one plane. We're not always just walking straight forward. We're always having to zigzag and get around things, all the obstacles in our lives, physical, mental, and emotional obstacles. Squeeze in, so knowing your power. Now, the reason I like that term powerhouse, knowing where your power is, where your intuition, your strength, your feeling of self-confidence. So even if you don't know what you're doing right now, add another cup of self-confidence and keep going. Zig the abdominals in. Zag the arm and the leg out. Squeeze the core muscles in. 2 more. That hip's going. You know, we didn't need to do side lying today. I think we got it very good. Okay, one of the first things I said was breath. Inhale all the way down and in. Exhale, scoop the belly. Inhale, don't forget the inhale. Don't forget. Well, thank you, Candace. I was going to just do 2 exhales in a row. I'm glad you were here to cure me of that. All right, so hold this one down. Just hold, just hold. Wherever you are, hold. I just wanted you to make sure that you know that the muscle can be lengthened and strengthened at the same time. That in traditional exercise lore, we always think about crunching and getting smaller, but Pilates is about getting longer. All right, come up. Let's come around to a seated pose. We'll do 1 twist, then we'll just do stretches. So the twist is my favorite, I think you all know, is that spine twist. Press the legs into the floor. Now I say bring the legs about a foot apart, but they can be wider. If that feels better for you, do that. I say stretch the arms out, but you can bring the arms to the shoulders, whatever's better for you. Inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale, twist. So exactly like a cloth. I know a lot of us, we take that cloth and wring it out. Exactly like that, only more like a barber pole. Do they still have barbers? I think they do they? Where the stripes are going spiraling up. All right, now kind of look at your legs and make sure that your legs aren't sliding. They're not doing this like skiing motion. Keep the length of your legs the same. Almost everyone I know who's had back problems and has wound up going to a doctor for help has found out that their legs are different lengths. Well, okay, it's not a big deal until it is. Just like anything, it's not a big deal until it is. So best you can, try to keep your leg length the same. I know you can't really do that, but you can train your abdominals to make any adjustments that they need to. So you don't have to know, oh, my right leg's 3 feet longer. You don't have to know that. You just know that my abs are trying to like walk evenly, and in this case, twist evenly, without over twisting and without sliding the legs. So this is giving my abs intelligence to synchronize the 2 sides of the body. So we were talking about alignment earlier in this week. 2 more times. Exhale, the scoop, the intelligence. 1 more. And release. Good for you. Let's come down to the back. If you have the strap or the band, we'll use that. We'll loop it on the foot. You decide where you want that on the foot, and then stretch the leg up. All right, take a deep breath in. I'm a huge fan of props. Using anything at your disposal. You know, you don't have to go to an expensive gym, expensive Pilates. The Pilates equipment is super expensive. You don't need all that. That'd be great. Just like anything, that'd be great. It'd be great to have a yacht and everything else. Who's saying that there's anything wrong with that? But we don't need that. We can have this relatively inexpensive band. Take the loop or the band in the opposite hand to pull the leg across. Feel the stretch on the fascia. Tensor fascia latae, the side hip. Then do spin the hips into a kind of a good twist. All right, I want you to take all of your breath now and feed the low back and the side of the hip. That big sort of triangle from the 2 hip bones to the low back, that big triangle. So take the breath, collect it, and send it. So the inhale still pulls in, we're still pulling in air, but the exhale diffuses a healing energy out to the hip, to the low back, that big triangle. It's almost like all of the leg muscles, picture them as long, fibrous cables, and all of the ab muscles, they're like big sheets. they all converge into a big kind of knot. You picture, those dresses that have the big bow on the back. It's kind of like that. Like all those muscles like come together there, and that's really where we find our strength so that we don't fall. That's kind of our main intersection of all muscles. If you can, feel down the side of the leg, that IT band, which is like kind of a ligament that runs down the side of the leg that aligns the hip to the knee. We did a lot of balancing on the knee and the hip, so that IT band may need an extra stretch today. Breathe in, feed the low back and down through the IT, the ilio, that's the hip, tibia, that's the leg bone down there at the calf, iliotibial IT band or strap. 3 slow breaths. I'm feeling it more and more and more. And then release. We'll go to the other leg. Loop and hold. So even if you don't need the band, I want you to use it to get used to it. The band gives you this feedback communication sensorial loop. It's like saying, yes, that is my foot. It's like when somebody gives you a foot rub, a foot massage, yes. That feeling, yes. I like that. Hold on, my hamstring on this side is kind of giving me a little shaky nudge here going, wait. Then when you're ready, come to that cross where you take the band and pull the leg across. You kind of pause at 45 degrees to feel that triangle I said between the bottom of the hip bone to the low back. Feed that the breath. So inhale, collect the energy, diffuse it through that big knot. And bring the leg further down, kind of spin the hip over. Follow your breath. If you're not used to that, follow your breath. So anytime you're not paying attention to me, which is all of the time, I hope, you're paying attention to your breath. Breath. Whatever you give your attention to, that's what you're healing. So just like when you're gardening and you tend to the weeds and the seeds and the water and the light, same thing with your body. Your path and your plan are exercising intensities and frequencies and durations, food, eating well, digesting well, and then we'll release this. Stretch out long, lengthen the spine, arms and legs reach. I want you to congratulate yourself, celebrate that we did a really vigorous practice today. We moved through several really challenging exercises quickly to create a flow, and what that did was it burned calories and helped heal. Come into Shavasana now, so find a really relaxing, safe and supported pose, letting the arms and legs fall down and spread out. Feel now how your body is no longer flooded with any pain or suffering or challenging negative thoughts. Then take a deep breath in and slowly let it go. Begin to make your way back up. When you come all the way up now into a seated pose, lengthen your spine. So re-engage the core. Inhale, let's do this again. Inhale up and exhale down. One more time. So inhale, really stretch this time. Reach, 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 reach. And exhale, that means you're all done. Fantastic job today.